she's like, "Have you just shit the bed?" And I'm like, "Why are you disrespectful? Like, my personality is shitting the bed."
What is going on, broski? So when I'm not looking at dank memes all day, trying to sell you secondhand clothes, or just generally perusing on the internet, I am looking for fashion inspiration. Now, for me, I feel fashion inspiration is very important for personal style. I feel that inspiration more or less guides you on your fashion journey, if you want to deep it like that. And I myself do partake in fashion inspiration hunting. You know, there are loads of different sources. I did a poll to see where people actually got their fashion inspiration from, and there was a lot of interesting answers. After that, I also asked the question, where do you primarily get your fashion inspiration from? YouTube or Instagram? And the heavy majority said Instagram, and I can understand why. Instagram is a quick and convenient place. You can jump from one page to another fairly quickly. It's relatively easy to find new things as well on the explore page, etc. I don't need to sell you Instagram. So I thought making this video today would be beneficial for people who are starting to get into fashion. They've started their fashion journey. But here are 10 Instagram pages that I think are essential for fashion inspiration. So the first Instagram page that I have picked for the inspiration is a page called FIHTS. The bio is a curation of fashion, art and culture. And it's basically a mood board, which is a big category that I personally use quite a lot. Fashion isn't just about, you know, this outfit, that outfit. It's about aesthetics, it's about moods, it's about this, that and the other. Like, there's a lot to it, and I think a mood board like this captures certain feelings, attitudes, styles, trends. It's a big massive hub of culture. Now, this page isn't exactly the only mood board that exists on Instagram. There's so many different kinds of fashion mood boards on Instagram that they all kind of look the same in my personal opinion. But if you do look through these mood boards, you can catch subtle differences and maybe follow the ones that are more relevant to you, but in my opinion they're all very similar. So I picked this page as more of a representative of all fashion mood boards, and there's a few pictures here that I really like personally. There is a lot to look at on this page and a lot to take away from it. So long story short, hold tight the mood boards. So the second Instagram page that I think is important for fashion inspiration is vendera fits. Now again, this is more of a representative page, one that I personally like. Again, it's one of those pages where once you've seen one, you've seen them all. But again, like the mood boards, they do vary in somewhat different styles. But this is basically an outfit repost page. So you can submit your outfits and they just find outfits that they like for reposting, and it just becomes this feed of non-stop outfits. So if you're actually looking for outfit inspiration, you know, looking for colors, silhouettes, brands, that kind of thing, then it all can be found on this outfit repost page. The outfits on this page are a tiny bit outlandish. That side of fashion I really like. And again, me personally, I find a lot of inspiration from these pages. Just seeing what other people are up to, you know, how they get creative, how they get thrifty, that kind of thing. Even picture and pose wise, if you're sitting there and you're thinking your Instagram is looking a bit stale, like you've done the same pose like over and over again, looking at somebody else's feed, especially like a curated page like this, massively good for inspiration. So again, just pick one that suits you, but vendera fits is one that I really like personally. So the next Instagram page, which is great for fashion inspiration, is converting culture. Now, arguably, you can say that this is just another mood board, like you've already done a mood board, oh no. But this one I really like because of its themes. There's a lot of vintage high fashion here. Some mood boards just literally post a picture and that's that. But this particular page just likes to put captions in there, so there's a little bit of context and you just learn a little bit more. So not only do you get inspired, but you learn a little bit as well. And it's all about educating yourself even after school. Education is key. How did you do on your finals, big man? But that's converting culture. So the next Instagram page I want to show you is minimal archive. So again, this page is a lot like a mood board, also somewhat similar to converting culture, but I use this as more of like a secondary feed that I refer to. So if I've sort of like rinsed all of the pictures from other mood boards and whatever, I like to have a couple more just to look at as well. I feel that just following one feed isn't enough. Maybe have 2-3 mood boards that you follow, just so you can have a more fully rounded view on fashion in general, if that makes sense. These pages might have different aesthetics, but the pictures are different most of the time anyway. So it's just sort of expanding your feed, if you will. Again, this page I really like because of its vintage luxury fashion aesthetics. It's got a little bit of everything. It's got a little bit of art, a little bit of fashion, a little bit of outfit reposting, vintage photos, pseudo vintage photos, you know, when like people just use film cameras to take their selfies, etc. It's a very diverse page once you get into the nitty-gritty of it. So that is Minimal Archive. So the next page I want to show you is Gods Don't Die. Now this is a very unique page. You could call it somewhat of a mood board, but it's unique in the sense of its presentation style and what they actually put on their page. So if you do a quick scroll down their page, you can tell that their colors are blocked. Right now they're going for a pastel pink aesthetic, but if you scroll down the page, you can tell that they previously touched on red, white, yellow, orange, white and yellow, purple, you know, it goes on and on and on. But I just like the presentation style of the Gods Don't Die page. It's quite pleasing to look at and a unique idea to have on an Instagram page. But that's literally just scratching the surface of this page. There's a lot more to it. I would say this page has somewhat of a luxury fashion, gothy, grungy type aesthetic to it. There's a little bit of surrealism here, which I really like. It brings me out of my comfort zone a bit. I feel that a lot of pages like to play it safe, a little bit too accessible, if that makes sense. Well, this page is a little bit unapologetically weird, and it just kind of embraces that whole weirdness. And that's something that I can really appreciate, something that I find fashion inspiration from, because it's just basically saying, be yourself. Even if you are like a complete weirdo, there's lessons you can take away from that I feel is important in fashion. It's always good to have a diverse mindset when it comes to fashion, a little bit more of an open mind. Not one fashion style is like the best and only fashion style there is. There are lots and lots of different subcultures within fashion, and this page proves it. And if you appreciate stuff like this, then it is the perfect page for you. So moving on to something a little bit more lighthearted is a page that I am really into at the moment. It's called Uncreative. Now this is just basically a fashion meme page. Now I do want to do a video on fashion memes. That will come in a later video, but for now I just want to show you what this page is about. Like literally, no matter what fashion community you are a part of, this page has gone after you. And the reason why I think it's important to follow like a fashion meme page like this for fashion inspiration is to not take yourself too seriously. It kind of comes down to, no matter what you wear, there is always going to be someone who's going to make fun of you. That's just how it is in life. So following a page like this just kind of grounds you, just kind of makes you think, okay, fashion isn't all that deep. There are people making fun of it. It's not the buy all and end all. And I think that's important for fashion inspiration, just to kind of lighten up a bit. Fashion is a playground. It's not just this concrete, serious industry. Just like everything else in life, it's not that deep. So follow a couple of fashion meme pages. The next shop that I want to show you is 404 Archives. This is basically just like a shoppable Instagram page, but at the same time, it's a page that showcases a lot of interesting and unique pieces. I could scroll down this Instagram page all day. There's a lot to see, a lot of interesting pieces, a lot of really nice pieces that I think to myself, actually, I want something that's a little bit like that, or I've got an idea, I would style that with this. There's a lot of reasons to follow an Instagram page that just has pieces on there. If you do really like a piece, you can just buy it on their website, and that is 404 Archives. Now, the next Instagram page is the Vintage Plug, and I chose this Instagram page to represent all thrifters or vintage style Instagram pages. Now, for me, vintage fashion is very, very prevalent in my personal style, and you can become somewhat comfortable with the pieces that you have, and you kind of plateau a little bit. So finding pages like this that are in your direct style is really healthy, because it kind of gives you somewhat of a new look at your own style. On this page there are so many pieces that kind of inspire me to go thrifting again, or if I'm getting a little bit bored with vintage fashion, I go in pages like this and it just rekindles my passion, my fire, that kind of thing. It also keeps me grounded as well, makes me feel like I'm part of a community, like I'm not the only person in this town that does vintage fashion. I know that's a little bit ludicrous, but it feels that way sometimes. Like, you know, if you dress a little bit differently, you feel like you're the only person in the world that dresses like you do. So it's just nice to have that connection, that community, and that point of reference for your own style. Hold tight the vintage plug. Next up, the Slyde Instagram page is really good. Again, it's one of those outfit repost pages, but this is different in a sense that they're more community driven. There's a lot of talk within that Instagram page. They have their own app as well. I think this whole operation is owned by Kofi, Unknown Vlogs. And again, I think that this is very healthy for fashion inspiration because there are lots and lots of different styles on this Instagram page. If you download the app, you can upload your own outfit, see other users' outfit. You know, it's a user-generated platform. So if you want to check that out, I will leave the links in the description down below. And last but not least is asspizza, or asspizza if you're English. I'm gonna say asspizza just because like people are already triggered. But this is a very important Instagram page for inspiration. I don't want to gas up man too much, but the guy is a designer, is fully independent. His designs are crazy, mad. There is his own style, he does bits. It's totally unique, and following fashion designers is a very good source of fashion inspiration because they're not bound to trends, I would say. They're just in their own little bubble doing their own thing. They're not following trends, they're actively making trends happen. So that is also a good thing to have around on your Instagram feed. Just letting you know that you don't always have to follow the crowd. There are people out there who are making their own trends, following their own path and making it work. And this is a perfect example of that. So make sure you follow a designer that you really like. And that was 10 Instagram pages that I recommend you follow for fashion inspiration. The comment section is about to go off with "you left out this person, that person, and what about this person?" And if that is the case, let me know who you think should have been on this list in the comment section down below. Get some F's in the chat. All of the information of the Instagram pages I've mentioned today will be in the description down below as well. If you like this video, then give it a like. If you dislike this video, give it a dislike. If you like what I do here and you want to support the channel, then press the little subscribe button. If you want to get notified when I upload a new video, then press the little bell icon as well. And with that being said, thank you for watching my video. Bye.